Welcome back to Life Changing Wealth. You know who it is. It's your boy, Jay Biondo here. I post videos every day about investing in the stock market, cryptocurrency, real estate, pretty much anything you can think of related to investing. If you guys like the content, give the video a thumbs up, hit subscribe below, and don't forget to turn on that notification bell. So today, we're going to talk about Theta. Let's jump into it. So I first want to create sort of a framework or to give you guys a different perspective for those that are not software engineers. So for those that know me well, know that I've been a software engineer for roughly 15 years, in addition to doing finance work. So I know quite a bit about engineering, and in the engineering world, there are a lot of challenges that systems like YouTube and Twitch are facing that Theta is creating to disrupt. So, a lot of times when we use these platforms, YouTube or Twitch, we don't recognize these problems. But I want to kind of break this down and start with what the problem is that Theta is trying to solve. And that problem is really a bandwidth issue. So when, as the stream qualities increase, as we go from a world where high definition was 1080p, and now we're moving into this 4K world, and very soon we're going to move into this 8K world, where everybody has 8K TVs, and the amount of bandwidth needed to pump that amount of data is very difficult for companies like YouTube and Twitch to sort of evolve into. It's very expensive too to send that amount of data, right? So Theta has come up with a way to disrupt this and sort of displace some of those companies and how they do things. So to kind of give you an overview of how they do it now. So companies that either the YouTubes of the world, the Googles, the pretty much every serious business now that's on the web uses what's called the CDN. And so those CDNs act like relay servers. So essentially, as they put out their new website or updates to their site, they have other micro servers scattered around the globe that act as relays, which make it faster for you to connect to servers and get better connection, better bandwidth, right? So let's say I create a website and I put it on a CDN, a content delivery network. What's going to happen is that's going to get replicated several times over, so that if you're in England, you're going to get access to the CDN, the copy of my website that's listed on that CDN. And so this becomes very expensive because you have to have multiple copies of your site, multiple co-locations of data. There's a lot of different issues that arise when you're trying to maximize the speed of content delivery. And it's even more complicated when it comes to video, and it's even more complicated when it comes to live streaming, right? So how does blockchain and Theta try to resolve this? Well, essentially with blockchain, it's very interesting, right? Because it's all about relay nodes. It's all about having different nodes and having the ability to fire up different nodes in different locations. So essentially, you sort of decentralize the distribution. You let people set up nodes that can then earn Theta for creating a node, for creating a private relay node. Okay, so rather than relying on companies that may only have 1,000 relay servers, now you can have a distributed network of hundreds of thousands of relay nodes. Your neighbor could have a relay node. Okay, so that's also going to help pump out the bandwidth and increase the speed of the network. So that's sort of the frame of reference as to what Theta is going to do. The goal being to try to make video streaming quality that much better. Okay, so and if you've ever been on YouTube, sometimes late at night, you'll notice that rather than getting access to the 1080p video quality, you'll get bumped down to like a 480p, and they're doing that to try to save bandwidth and cost because they can't support everybody streaming 1080p content when it's prime time. Okay, and the same goes for Twitch. They sort of throttle down their network qualities, which makes for a terrible experience for you and I, and that's what Theta comes in to try and solve. So let's jump into the charts real quick. All right, guys. All right, so Theta. Let's talk here. So Theta is interesting because when we take a look back in time here, it wasn't that long ago where, you know, the Satoshi value was only 242. I mean, we're down here to nothing, right? And then we shot up. We shot up to 2,000. I mean, this coin has exploded. Okay, and we're going to talk about the U.S. dollar valuation in just a second. But I want to just kind of show you where we are in the Theta cycle. So Theta got launched, I mean completely launched in March, skyrocketed, basically went to the moon, and sort of hovered here for a while, went up and down a bit, and then, you know, we went through the summer lull. And now we are below the 20-week moving averages. Okay, so we realize Theta keeps trying to get a couple bounces here and continues to get rejected. And right now it just went up for another bounce up to the 20-week EMA, got rejected. Okay, and so we're waiting for another breakout. Okay, and that I don't know when that's going to happen. I don't see evidence of that happening yet. But it is interesting to see where it is, because when I think of Theta outside of technical analysis, outside of the charts, I think it's a fantastic. I mean, it's one of the most innovative, really one of the most innovative ideas I've seen in blockchain. You know, when we think about Blockbuster and Netflix, right? Think about how people used to get video, okay? Like, people used to go and rent DVDs. They used to rent VHS tapes, and now we have Netflix, right? Netflix came in and destroyed everybody. And now we have other streaming services that then sort of followed suit. And I could see not Theta just annihilating YouTube or companies like that, but I could see it being highly disruptive for people that want really high-quality streams, right? So it's interesting. At least it's going to force the rest of these companies to up their game and find solutions. So I think it's this is way undervalued still. I don't know where the value is going to go or when it's going to go up, but I can only imagine this is going to go up. So I think it's going to go up, and I think it's going to go up in a big way. And so now let's just jump to the USD, the USD charts. We just fix the graph here. Okay, so we're rocking around $7.30 right now. We saw that we were down here less than $1. We were down here in the pennies, guys, not that long ago. This was less than a year ago. Somebody's up like 7,000% right now. Okay, think about how nuts that is. And then at one point, boy, they were up 14,000%, something of that nature, some absurd amount, right? So we see coins like Shiba and these other coins that have blasted off, but we often forget about the Thetas. And this can happen in other projects. So this is a good example of a project that just took off and will continue to take off as long as they keep improving the software and growing out the ecosystem, which we're going to get to in just a second when you stay with me. So we're getting a couple bounces here because the BTC value is going up. Nothing major. I think this is still a great time to buy. When we look at the USD value, it's kind of just blasted in and out of the moving averages. So it's really hard to tell where it's going to go relative to Bitcoin and to the USD value. So, you know, you could be a little skeptical. You can't really use some of these averages to determine what's going to happen. But at the same time, I still think this is still a great entry point for the rest of the bull cycle. Certainly something I'm going to be considering as things move forward. But that's what I wanted to show you on the charts. Let's jump into really just kind of talk about some more fundamental pieces of Theta. So I came across this chart today on the ecosystem of Theta, and I didn't realize how massive this is. So I wanna let me frame this, okay? So we have all these different video platforms in the ecosystem. We have enterprise validators on Google, Sony, Samsung. I mean, these are companies, big companies in the entertainment space. Okay, so very, very interesting, highly backed. When we look at the equity investors, I mean, you got Samsung, Sony in here, some other big names in here, and when there's big names, there's usually success because there's just so much money behind it, okay, and so much momentum, okay. We got other things like technology partners, Chainlink. Pretty much everybody's in bed with Chainlink. We got wallets and other things like that. And where I see this going is, so if you imagine a subscription-based model where you're streaming in the ecosystem and you have node operators getting paid for the subscription fees, rather than Twitch, right, which collects half, which is an insane amount. You can you can shell off some of the subscription fees over to the node validators, and also give more to the creators. So that's another big bonus, right? It's not just the stream quality. It's the fact that for cost effectiveness, this is gonna be way more cost effective than doing a stream on Twitch. So those are the things that I'm thinking about, and things I'm considering as I think of Theta as a business. So, all right, another thing is we see here that Theta just did live coverage of NASA, a NASA mission. How cool is that? That they're partnered with NASA to do this stuff in a high quality stream. Super awesome to see, and so I think as we sort of wrap up here, guys, I think Theta is a very strong project. I think it's one of the better projects out there to be invested in. With that said, the only caveat that makes it rather difficult is there aren't too many exchanges that list it. So you've got Binance and KuCoin that list it. It's not on Kraken. I don't think it's on Coinbase either. So, and that could be a good thing, because that could mean that it's gonna go to those platforms. And if you get in now, we might see a price bump with additional liquidity. So those are some things to consider. Overall, Theta looks awesome, and I'll probably jump in the game and invest in it at some point, probably some point soon. So that's what I'm thinking. And I hope that helped you guys. So today, another thing I want to mention is I just set up the pro list. So if you guys want access to the pro list, down in the description, click the link. And I basically go over in the pro list additional videos that go into smaller investments that I'm jumping into. And it gives you more detailed analysis of what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis with my investments. Hope to see you guys over there. Click the link down in the description, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.